Okay, so the first question, community is defined as a body of persons or nations having a common history or common social, economic, and political interests. So, like, according to you, what does the idea community mean in your opinion?
So my opinion for the community is like not just like the definition that she mentioned is the writer or like somebody mentioned, but plus more closely to the political manner, but people who have the same interest, hobbies, same thoughts, opinion can be like a same community too.
Okay, got it. So and second question, so what community do you believe that you belong to?
That's a really difficult question right now because I believe I belong to Japanese society and the Japanese culture. So I belong to the Japanese community with a question mark because since high school I started learning English and I started communicating with the English speakers, not like non-native Japanese people. Then I got the information and the culture and also thoughts from them. So gradually my thoughts not invaded but like changed in a good way. So it's a mixed culture right now. That's why I mentioned like maybe Japanese community, but unknown.
So like, can I understand in this way that you think like you kind of belong to Japanese community, but some of your thoughts it's not the same way as Japanese community would think. So like you are a little doubt about it.
Yeah.
Okay, got
it. A little bit different. And even my friends told me so.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. That's okay. So the third question, like, why do you believe that you belong to this community?
Because I grew up in Japan, first of all, and then in the good part, so if it's a good things, then I follow how the Japanese people are. For example, politeness speech and a politeness behavior, like polite behavior. So, but when it's talking about like how to talk with people, like for example, Japanese people don't usually talk to a random person like on the street, right? But I do.
Oh, like say hi to everybody.
Say hi to not in Japan, but in the US. So when I get in the elevator and if there are other passengers, then I sometimes start talking with them. But Japanese people never, ever.
So that would be the difference between you and the mainstream of Japanese society.
And then I mostly say something indirectly rather than like indirectly too.
So so can I say that? So in your opinion, you belong to Japanese community because you grow up in Japan. So like you share the common history.
Yeah, share the common history, share the common culture, behavior to some extent, and also follow the Shintoism too. So religion.
Okay.
Religion can be the other community too.
Religion, okay. And do you believe that? Are your nationality still Japanese?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you believe that your nationality in some way like act on your like thoughts about community?
Yes or no, because although I have like 100% Japanese, nationality, but I sometimes act like American people.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Depends on the place and then depends on the situation.
Okay.
More like when in Rome.
So like, do you know the word identity?
Yeah.
Okay, so does that mean that you think your identity changes when you are in America compared to when you are in Japan?
Yes. Well, maybe in a good way and a bad way. So my identity still, I don't know how to put or how to explain my identity. if I can say, my identity is still building up. It's not fixed since I went out from Japan and then getting new information and then build a new identity too. But if I talked about a Japanese identity, it was changed.
It was
a
changed.
bit, yeah.
Okay. Okay. The next question, like, what kind of feelings or emotions you feel when you know you are in this community? Or, like, do you feel, is there any, like, mostly, or you feel proud or pleasant, or sometimes there are negative feelings?
Well, yes, in a it depends on the situation too. So, for example, when I having a potluck party with the Japanese people, I feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
But when I have the same party with American people, I feel more comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Because the situation will be potluck party with not just friends but other families or like a boss or like then Japanese people has like a strong respect toward like a higher ranked or older people too.
Like when they have respect to elder people and whose status is higher than them. Okay.
But in the US, it's like it is, but less.
Yeah. So I think this would be like the conflict between what you learned in Japan and what you like learned in recent days in the US. Okay. I think how to say that? Do you think is there something in your community that is special? It's unique that other community does not have, or something that can, if you can think of something that could represent your community, you would think of that.
Hold back, hesitation, but it's not hesitation. Maybe mind reading.
Mind reading.
That's like a weird way to put the word.
Yeah.
How can I say? What's the word in English?
Like, does that mean
concerning?
Oh, okay.
Considerate.
Yeah, considerate is the word.
So, usually, like people try to read what other people think. So maybe American people say like, "I want this." When we talk about what do you want, then I want this. But maybe Japanese people usually ask, "I don't know, but what do you want?" Instead of like saying what I want, think about other people. It's not hesitation, but showing the politeness to get the idea from others.
So, like, as part of Japanese community, is there anything that you wish outsiders could learn more about community? Usually, it's something that people does not belong to Japanese community does not know, and sometimes they may hold a I would say not a prejudice, but a bias against Japanese community.
If I can say like a seriousness and a politeness can be, well, I know some people in other countries is more like a serious and like polite too, but maybe that's the one things I come up with in my head right now.
Is that like Japanese people bow a lot? Like bow a lot?
Yeah, not just like a bowing, but I don't know. So think about others first rather than myself. And then grouping, so consensus is more important than individual answer.
So you think that is a good part of your community? It's a good quality?
It can be good quality. On the other hand, lose the identity too.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one is better. That's why I don't know which one, which community I belong to. Because both of them are important. Having like an individual opinion, but at the same time, you shouldn't, break the the flow with other people too.
Okay. So next question: is there anything that you think that your community could change or improve? It may not be it may not be a bad thing, but you think it could be better if they change a little bit.
Yeah. For the improvement.
Yeah.
Maybe try not to be ignorant.
Ignorant?
Yeah. So people usually get the information from only TV or internet, but I'd rather my Japanese people to go out and experience and feel rather than just, you know, just like watching TV or so, because it will be like there's like a huge difference between what you get from what you heard and what you experience.
It really feels. Yeah, that's a good one. So next question. Could you like briefly describe the place of your community? Like, cause you're sad as Japanese, I would think of like describe what kind of country Japan is like, or just describe your hometown as like your hometown city.
So since I said I don't know which community I belong to, well then Osaka is a part like a part of the community I have. So Osakan people is more like a friendly and then kind and then generous rather than people who live in Tokyo.
Oh.
And then Osakan people usually funny than Tokyo people too. It depends on the situation, but most people told me so too, like in the past decades. So
why Tokyo people is not that?
It's like a New York. People get used
like
to
really
being with
busy and fast
busy, and
life.
then and get used to being with like foreigners, and then more experienced in a good way and a bad way. But the people who live in like around the Kansai area, which is Hyogo, Kyoto, or Nara, Wakayama, or like around Osaka, has like less experience being with like foreigners than like Tokyo people. So for us, it's more interesting to meet like newcomers too.
So
and
they're
also like welcoming. Why don't we just talk and then see how the person is?
So the last question, I think I already have this one because you're talking about like, do you think you always belong to this community? And that would be a no question. Or you don't know?
Well, it's not always, because I'm like a chameleon. Chameleon, the animal. Color changing.
Oh, I got that one. Okay.
So if I go to the US, I act like Americans to some extent, but still I have Japanese-based behavior, personality too. And also I learned Spanish, so I get the reaction of Spanish too sometimes. So when it comes to the dance party, I start dancing rather than Japanese people sitting behind and like drinking alcohol. No. I just go dance with like a random female. So and then I learned the Hungarian language too, which means I have some Hungarian culture in me.
That's really impressive.
So
I didn't even know that.
This is why I don't know which community I belong to. Well, it's easy to belong to Japanese community, but on the other hand, I was comfortable being with Hungarian people, and then also I was I felt really interesting and fun with Spanish people. Then I can talk to many things with American people. So it's all mixed. So in my brain, my community is like New York, if I can say.
I totally got it, and like
so,
to like
the place many international people belong to. is my community, because those who, so European Union is more like my community wise, because they have different culture and different political manners, and also the way to act, react to people. I mean behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like, in my opinion, like when I heard after all your story, I think your identity is a mixture of all your, like, it's built up on your, like, your experience in different ages. So like, it's another question, but do you think that you better off from this, like, a mixture of identity, not just pure one identity?
Well, better. I don't know how to, like, compare, because I don't know which one is better. What I did from my experience is I just get the good part from each culture and each community. So
you're, like, not sure, or it's just hard to.
one identity or one community is hard, because can you be in one identity or one community? Because, like, I think many people have a different community. If you are a teacher, you have a teacher's community. If you have a friends community, maybe you act differently between two communities, right? But you still have two different communities. But basics is like a country or community. Do you know what I mean? What's the base? Like, you based on, I don't know, based on your country, so that you are in that community, or you are in a community because you have the same interest or same job or same something. Then I'd rather say I will be that community in the case of that situation. So I cannot decide which one is which. It's like when you meet the people, you act differently too.
Yeah, I think that's all I need to ask. I think, like, I didn't expect you to say, like, this, I will not say, like, complicated, but I didn't expect you to say that you think, like, your community is a difficult question to ask, like, to answer. But, like, when I talk to you, I think it's really interesting that I find the same thing on myself, but because it's like,
because you are in the US, how do you react? It's different, right?
It's really difficult, especially, like, in Emory there's a lot of Chinese students. And you constantly, like, you have to, like, chatting with them, but you also have, like, USA classmates. And sometimes the difference you found between your Chinese part and USA part is sometimes difficult to decide which one to pick. And especially when I went back to China, like, I feel like I'm not a Chinese person. And is that what other people told me? And
you didn't act like a Chinese people, right? I was told, like, my friends too, you're American. Like, what?
but also American people told me that you act like a Chinese. But, like, sometimes I feel like I'm not, like,
it's like you are standing in between. And then maybe it's like either bad things or good things too. Because that's why you don't know which way to go, right? Well, in the end, when you are in China, you're gonna be like you're gonna have a Chinese identity. That's why I say, when in Rome, if you are in that community, your identity and your community will be changed.
Like, I'm still finding the balance between two, but I think, like, you really, like, I will not say, like, determined, but you are, like, you're comfortable. Like, more comfortable.
Where, like, which one? Like, where is your, like, either convenient or comfortable place? And then that's the one of our question. I want my community to learn.
To learn.
Because you need to accept the difference. You don't accept the difference. That's why you differentiate who is Chinese or who is not.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I'm Japanese nationality, but I don't act like a Japanese, so I'm not in the Japanese community. It doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
I'm still in the Japanese community. At the same time, I get the new information and the new idea and culture. That's why I'm not ignorant. So I can be in a different community too. If everyone can do that, just accept the difference, then which community? That question is something odd for me. Which community? Everyone is in the same community.
Yeah.
In the end.
Right. I heard something about Japanese people. I don't know if it is true, but I heard that Japanese people kind of resist changes. Is that true? They did not want their life to be changed dramatically.
Yeah. Not that much.
Yeah, I heard that.
Not that much. Yeah, they don't want to change the lifestyle.
So I think it's kind of the same with Chinese people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same.
So, for example, maybe Japanese people wants to get married to Japanese people. I don't care.
Oh, really?
Because even Japanese, there are so many bad people.
Yeah, I got it.
It doesn't matter. You just go out and then see who meets you instead.
Yeah.
It's not it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the culture. Doesn't matter the society or community. Because when you meet people and then you check if she fits you or not, it's more important than where she is or he is from.
Yeah, right. Do you is there anything in your mind that you think about future? I think it's hard to ask how long would you teaching Emory, or will you go back to Japan?
If I it depends on I will have a family or not. If I'm alone, then no matter what I want to teach, not as a Japanese teacher, it doesn't matter, but I want to share my opinion or thoughts or information that I have with students. Then maybe student who has a strict or a solid mind might change. Not change, but include my opinion in her or in in him.
I feel language teacher is not the best job for you, because I think what language teacher can present to his students is really limited, because it's more about the language itself, how to say this word, how to say this sentence, but we cannot it's the context of the class restricts your, I think, I don't know how to say it, ability or your...
To some extent.
Yeah.
But how I react to student, you can see.
Yeah.
You can see, because you have that, a certain thoughts, so I act like this, right? Then when you have a different Japanese teacher, maybe you will realize, wait, he acted totally different.
Yeah.
Then why is that? Then when you think back or a brainstorming, that's the time you see the difference even between Japanese people. Limited, yes, but as long as I continue this job, continue doing this job, I can meet many students. I guess I've already met 1,000.
Already?
Or
you
will because
Mm-hmm.
I go to that university. But when you go to different university, I meet a new student. At the same time, my hobby is dancing. I have like a different community.
Mm-hmm.
I meet the different people in a different community. Then friends of my friends is like a
Mm-hmm.
knows me like somehow
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
too, because you're gonna talk about me
Yeah.
with other people too.
Yeah.
That's why maybe this semester
Mm-hmm.
I'm teaching 3 courses.
Mm-hmm.
then other student took my course rather than the teacher who they took last semester.
Will we only teach like Japanese 101 and 102?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Because, okay, got it. It's just like, I don't know, like, I'm not sure if I want to learn Japanese next semester, but I want to take your class. Yeah. But,
Thank you.
But, like, I don't know if I would take it if it's not yours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, pretty much that's my policy. So I just don't want to teach Japanese language and culture for the exam. It's more like, okay, you learn Japanese, now what can you do with native speaker? Or like you go out, now you can travel around and then meet new people, get new culture, get new idea of different people, because even Chinese people, your friends have different opinion. That's why sometimes you have like conflict. Sometimes like being good friends. So just I don't know. Try to give them more chances to feel, to experience, to notice or recognize the difference between each individual.
I think like I talked to some of my friends that took Miyake Sensei's class. I think the biggest difference I feel between you and her, I think she may be a better teacher at teaching Japanese. Like she's more direct and more thorough. But I think like your class content, it's like either more about like not just about Japanese, simply the language.
Yeah. Miyake Sensei is definitely better teacher. That I know.
So it's like it's complicated to say that, but I want to take her class. But if you didn't teach like 201 classes, like
I don't know. I just like want them to enjoy learning language rather than like taking good score, because in the end, like you go to Japan and then think about exams, like question mark. Well, I know, GPA is like really important, but as long as you are learning a language, I just don't want to stick into the GPA that
there's
much.
things that
it's
is
like really complicated.
I know like
that's why I changed my teaching style a little bit from like last semester to
last semester.
Yeah.
I think. Wait, I don't even know how to say that, but I think you are like less stick to the textbook. You know what I'm talking about? Like you're teaching us what textbook says, but you are more than that.
Yeah, that's how I learned to teach. Like not the teaching textbook, but you're teaching language with textbook. Textbook is just like a item,
tool.
like a tool to teach, and not the rule book to teach.
Nice talking.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you